Hello, my friends. How are you? Hiker Dave, New England Bigfoot here. I've had some people comment what the NE means. That would be New England. I hope everyone's doing well. I had I was thinking about the tree breaks, and I did a kind of an experiment. And I took my compass. Actually, I have a reel. I use an actual compass, just a regular, cheap Walmart compass. But what I'll do is I'll walk up to a tree break, and in the direction that it's broken, I documented the way the tree break is facing. And I mentioned this, I think, in my last video, uh, that 95% of the tree breaks that I was documenting on the direction were going northeast. Almost all of them face northeast. And I went to a map, and I mean, I documented hundreds of tree breaks. Oh, let me know. I don't know how many. A lot. It was a lot. And I saw a pattern that I was in Massachusetts at the time. And these tree breaks was like a directional map up up north, up into New Hampshire. That just happened to be where I was looking on the map. And it was, so I looked on a topographical map. It followed like a corridor, a wooded corridor. You'd have to cross the highway and roads and such like that. But you could, I remember in a video saying you could travel from Massachusetts to Canada and not be seen just staying in the forest, crossroads at night, such like that. And I saw a brand new tree break way on the other side of the forest. I'm in here, McCabe Forest. And I should have seen which way it faced, but I didn't. But anyways, I got home and I was looking through my old notebook. And I brought it here today with me so I could show you. This book is from 2019. And I love to write. I'm not a great writer. I just like to write. Mosquitoes. So I found this. Oh, look, you guys got to check this out too. I'm going to show you guys this in a different video. This is the arrangement of the marbles that I left on that gifting rock, right along with twigs, the marbles, what they looked like after over time they changed. That's the magnet that I was telling you guys about that I left on the rock, or the metal ball with the magnets on top. So back to the tree breaks. So years ago, it was when I first moved up to New Hampshire, probably I guess 5 or 6 years ago. I have army manuals, like field manuals, military stuff. And one of them, I was just flipping through it one day, and it was talking about shelters. And I saw this picture in the book of a sapling break. Check this out, this sapling break here. Now, I wrote down in my notes, this whole book's full of notes, that the jet stream where we live here in the Northeast comes from the west to the south across the country. So northwest to southeast. Well, the tree breaks were facing to the northwest, I should say, northwest. And so I saw this in the book. Again, it would be perfect for an overnight shelter, right? So say you're out in the forest and you're doing your hiking thing, and maybe a light rain or a downpours for 10, 15, 20 minutes. In the military manual, it tells you take a sapling, obviously not a huge tree, but a sapling, this big around, and the pines, the pine needles on the tree, they're there year round. That tree stays green even in the winter. And so if you snap that tree where that, if the snow or rain is coming in, you could snap it facing that break facing the weather, and you could take shelter underneath that sapling break. And I'm like, that could be a reason why it's done, among other reasons, like directional markers, territorial markers. A lot of the breaks when I was in Massachusetts, I don't know how many, you can't say a percentage, but there were a number that I would follow these tree breaks through the brush, off trail, and I would come across a game trail, right? And I'm like, that's interesting. Also, it would lead me eventually to water. Now, I know that's easy to say. There's water all over the place in New England. But I was like, yeah, maybe that is why they're breaking the trees, is to communicate to other Sasquatch, that, oh, this tree break will take you to a game trail and you could set up and ambush your prey. Or it faces towards a water source. And then when I was looking through that Army manual, and let me tell you, in case you guys want to look it up, because it's very interesting. It is Army Manual Field Manual FM 21-76. And the manual itself is from October 1970. It's on page 183 of that field manual. And I thought, that makes so much sense, that it could just be a really quick shelter for a few hours overnight, maybe. I'm not saying that it's a shelter that you could stay and make a camp and you could stay for an extended amount of time, but I just think that it would be a really good way to get a quick shelter, a kind of a quick fix. Now, if Sasquatch is claimed to be, huge, massive creatures from, 8 to 12 feet tall, I guess that would depend on the height of your tree break, right? But anyways, I think you guys get the point. I want to hear what you think. I'd like you to comment on that. Is that theory out there, or does it make some sense to you guys that it's possible that the tree break just could be a quick man-made shelter? And it makes a lot of sense, again, because it's year-round coverage on a pine. And of course, it would have to be kind of a sapling, a smaller tree. But as far like 8, 9, 10-foot Sasquatch, it would be nothing for him to just take some quick shelter, reach up and snap a tree. And then when we come along and we see it, and it's like, wow, that's 8 feet in the air. Well, that would be closer to the ground for a Sasquatch, right? I don't know. This is kind of a shorter video. It's as hot as you want to be out right now. It's pretty brutal, but I definitely wanted to go for a hike. I wanted to go check the marbles. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll take you guys with me, and maybe I'll just compare really quick with my notebook, and I'll do 2 back-to-back videos because thank you so much, you guys, for clicking. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.